In this video, we will see how to calculate the present value of ordinary simple annuity. Present value of ordinary simple annuity is denoted by PVN, and which is equal to PMT 1 minus 1 plus I exponent negative n over I, where PMT is the regular payment at regular interval of time, I is the periodic rate of interest, and n is the total number of payments. That is I, N, and PMT has its usual meaning. Now let's consider an example. Suppose you want to withdraw $100 at the end of each month for 5 years from an account paying 4.5% compounded monthly. How much must you have on deposit at the beginning of the annuity? So at the beginning of the annuity means how much you should have at the beginning so that you can withdraw, you can take $100 every month end for next 5 years, whereas interest also is 4.5% compounded monthly. So first always we need to check whether your interest compounding period and payment periods are same or not. That is whether your annuity is ordinary simple annuity or not. So we can see here that interest compounded monthly and the payment period is also monthly. So these two are same, so therefore it is from ordinary simple annuity. Right, so now what is given we will just write down here. So here we can write $100 which is PMT. Then I, it is your 4.5% monthly. All of you know how to calculate. And then N, it is 5 years compounded monthly. So 5 times 12, which is 60. So you are paying every month for 5 years. So that is 60 times you are paying. And then we will use the present value formula to calculate that, which is PVN is equal to PMT 1 minus 1 plus I exponent negative n over I, right? Again Bedmar's rule. So first you will calculate the bracket and then exponent and then subtract it from 1. You will get the numerator divided by I, and the this whole bracket value you will multiply with PMT to get the present value. So once you calculate using the calculator, you should get the present value as 5,363.94. That is, if you have this much amount in your fund, so then you can withdraw $100 every month for next 5 years. So second one, how much will you receive in total? So you are receiving $100 every month for 5 years. That is total 60 times you are receiving $100. So 100 times 60, which is $6,000. So you have in the beginning this much amount, but you are receiving $6,000. So how much interest you are receiving is the difference. So you will calculate the difference, and that is your interest. Now we'll see how to calculate it in financial calculator. So first we will set the payment period and the interest compounding period. So first second and then P over Y, which is monthly. So I will press 12 and then press enter. So P over payment per year is monthly. Also the compounding period per year, which is 12. So it is already 12, and we will quit. So I set the payment period and the interest compounding period as monthly, both same. Now we will substitute the value of n, which is 60. So 60 and n. Then interest is 4.5%. So 4.5 is your I. You have to find the present value, and you are given PMT as 100. So plus minus, it is your PMT, and there is no values for future values, so it will be 0, and you will calculate compute PV. So you can see you are getting the same value till 2 decimal place 5363.94 what you got using the formula. So another example for calculating the present value. A sailboat is purchased for $3,000 down and payments of $1,000 at the end of each 6 months for 12 years. The interest rate is 7% compounded semi-annually. What is the cash value? So loan problem, cash value of the property, lease problem, all these are related to the present value. Whenever you need to calculate the loan amount or lease amount or the cash value of the property, that means you have to calculate the present value because those value will be known first and based on that you will have the payments. So it is given that $3,000 down payment and the payments of $1,000. That is PMT is your $1,000. I is 7% semi-annually, that is 7/2. And N is 12 years, every 6 months you are paying. So N is 12 times 2, which is 24. So using this data, you have to substitute in formula to calculate the present value, or you can also use the financial calculator to calculate the present value. Once you calculate the present value, $3,000, which is a down payment, should be added together, and that will is the total cash value of the sailboat. So first try your own and then check your answer with this one. Your total cash value should be equal to $19,058.37. Right now, if your future value is known and or if your present value is known, then how you will calculate the PMT, which is regular payment at regular interval of time. So you first thing is you have to always, for any annuity problem, you need to always identify the type of annuity. Second thing is whether it is a future value for problem or a present value problem. So identifying it, you will use the appropriate formula to calculate whatever it is asked. The future value formula you will use whenever future value is given, and how you will understand that it is future value is always it will be mentioned as accumulated value in the future or the amount in the future, so that means it is future value. And present value means it is a loan value, lease value, cash value of any kind of property. So all these are present value. Right, so let's see an example. What semi-annual payment at the end of each 6-month period is required to pay off a loan of $8,000 in 10 years if interest is 10% compounded semi-annually? So you have to find PMT, and because it's a loan of $8,000, so that means it's the present value is given, which is $8,000. And here the payment is done say every 6 months. You can see the payment is done every 6 months, and the interest also compounded semi-annually. So semi-annual payment and semi-annually, so therefore it is your ordinary simple annuity. Right, and we have all the data, so you can substitute here in the present value formula to calculate what is the semi-annual payment. So this is using the formula. You can substitute and follow the bedmass rule while calculating it, and you will get the value as this one. So $641.94. Now we'll see how to calculate using the financial calculator. So first we will set the payment period and interest compounding period. So second P over Y, which is semi-monthly or semi-annually, which is 2. So and press enter. Then press the arrow key. It is your 2. Then second quit. Now we set the payment period as 2, which is semi-annually, and interest compounding period as 2, which is semi-annually. Now we will put the all TVM keys values. So N value is 20 because 10 years and semi-annual payment. So it is 20. I value is 10%. Present value is given. So here present value is given. So present value will be plus minus. And your PMT you need to find, and future value will be 0, and you will write compute PMT. So you will see that you are getting 641.94 as your regular payment. Another example for finding the PMT is Clayton bought a new car valued at $18,500. He put a down payment of $3,000 on the car and financed the remainder over 4 years at 7.2% compounded monthly. How much must Clayton pay at the end of each month? So every month, how much he has to pay. So that is you need to find PMT. And because it's a purchasing a car value, so purchasing a property, so it will be considered as your present value. Out of $18,500, your $3,000 is your down payment, and therefore remaining is your present value. So you can pause the video a bit and then try to identify what parameters are given and how you are going to solve it. You can use the formula or you can use the financial calculator. And then check the result here. So whether your given consideration given data is matching with this or not, and whether your calculation and you are getting the final PMT as $372.61 or not. Now calculating the N value, that is total number of payments. We can use the first formula if future value is given. We can use the second formula if present value is given. And you will identify the same way whether the given problem is future value or present value, the way how we did earlier. So let's see an example. How long will it take for $100 deposited at the end of each quarter to amount to $2,312.37 at 6% compounded quarterly? Right now, you have how long means you need to find N, where $100 deposited. So $100 is the PMT, and it will become 2312.37. So this is future value given. And you are depositing every quarter, and interest also compounded quarterly. So these two are same, and therefore you have to find the N using this formula. Right, so we can see the parameters. So I is 6% compounded quarterly. So 6 over 4, PMT is 100, future value is this, and using the formula, you will round up. Always the N value should be round up. And if you are paying quarterly, so it will be N value will be 20 quarters. If you are paying monthly, then N value will be 20 months. If you are paying annually, then N value will be 20 years. Now from here, if you need to find the number of years and months, so just divide it by M, that is quarterly. So every 3 months you are depositing, so that's why it is your 20 quarters. So you can divide it by M to get how many years and how many months. So here 20 quarters means it is your 5 months. So divided by 4, so you can get 5 years. You can also try it using the calculator the same way. You will enter the PMT as 100, which is plus minus 100, I as 6%, then present value as 0, future value as 2312.37, and then compute n. So it will give you the n value. You need to always round up the n value. Round to the nearest integer, next integer. Okay, so the next one is using the formula calculator. How many months would it take to repay a $5,000 loan by making payments of $75 at the end of every month at an interest rate of 6% compounded monthly? So you can use a financial calculator, or you can use the formula to calculate it and check whether it is giving the same value or not. So we'll see in using the financial calculator what value you are getting. Okay, so here first we will set the P over Y and C over Y. So second P over Y, which is 12, press enter, press arrow down key, again 12, enter, and then second quit. We set the payment period and interest compounding period. Now we have to enter all the data. We need to calculate the N, so we will enter the I, which is 6%. PV, it's a loan, so therefore $5,000 you have taken loan, which is negative, so it's PV. Then PMT, it is $75 payment, so $75 it is your regular payment, which is you are returning back, so it's positive. And then 0 is your future value, there is no future value. And then compute CPT N. So you can see 81.29558565, that is total number of 82 months. Rounding it to the next integer, it is 82 months. We can also calculate the periodic rate of interest, which is I, using the financial calculator. So periodic rate of interest can be calculated only using the financial calculator. There is no formula for calculating I. If your PMT is given, future value is given, or present value is given, N is given. Right, so let's see in calculator how to calculate it. So compute the nominal annual rate of interest compounded monthly at which $400 paid at the end of the month for 8 years accumulate to $45,000. So you have to find the nominal annual rate, that is J, compounded monthly. So interest is compounded monthly and you are paying every end of the month $400 for 8 years, and which the amount will become $45,000. That means this is the future value given, and PMT is given as $400, and your N is 8 years every month, that is 12 times 8. It is your N, and then you need to find the I. So for this one, set the P over Y. So P over Y is 12, C over Y is 12, and we have set the payment period and interest compounding period. Now N is 8 times 12, which is 96. I over Y we have to calculate. Then PMT is 400. And 45,000 is future value. And 0 is present value. So compute I. So 3.91%. So that is year per year, that is your nominal annual rate of interest. I per year here is J in the formula, but in this using the financial calculator, that is your nominal rate of interest.